What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Night 2 of WrestleMania is about to begin today, and like usual, I would like to go over the show with a little match overview, and then we'll talk about my predictions for the matches as well. And you know, as always, for these kind of predictions video, I want to hear from you as well. So if you have any sort of predictions for the show, I would love to hear them down in the comments below, and I of course will be reading them and chatting with you guys about them as well. Now, before we get into the predictions part of this video, let's go ahead and do a little overview of everything that's supposed to be going down on this show. So we have a WrestleMania tag team showcase match happening again, but this time for the women. We have Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez taking on Natalya and Shotzi, Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler, and Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green. And you know, something that I didn't mention in the previous video that I would like to talk about now is that these tag team showcase matches, I don't mind them. It gets a lot of people on the card, but shouldn't these be number one contender matches? Like, doesn't that just make sense, right? I don't know. It just came to my mind when I was reading it out, and I was like, man, that just makes a lot of sense. Anyways, next up we have Brock Lesnar versus Omos, which is who knows. We got Edge taking on the Demon King Finn Balor in a Hell in a Cell match. Absolutely crazy. Then we got Gunther defending his Intercontinental Championship in a triple threat match against Drew McIntyre and Sheamus. We got Bianca Belair defending her Raw Women's Championship against Asuka. And then, of course, headlining the show, we have Roman Reigns defending his undisputed WWE Universal Championship against Cody Rhodes. That's going to be a huge main event match. And you know, I just saw on social media tonight as well that Bobby Lashley won the WrestleMania Battle Royal or whatever it's called. And then they posted a video on social media afterwards saying that he's free this weekend and he wants a match at WrestleMania. So they might be adding an open challenge match. And I don't know if that's for night one. I forgot to mention it in that video, which I probably should have because that would have been smarter. But I don't know. Maybe it's going to happen on night two. I don't know if this card is set in stone or not yet. But if Bobby Lashley is holding an open challenge match, that leaves the door for maybe Jay White to come in, like we had talked about in the last episode of this predictions, or, you know, maybe LA Knight. A lot of people are behind him. I'm kind of surprised he's not on the WrestleMania card, to be honest with you. It's kind of crazy. But anyways, okay, now that we've gone over all of the matches, let's go ahead and get into the predictions portion of this video. All right, I'm just going to start from the bottom and go all the way to the top on this flyer that I'm looking at here. So the first match tonight that I want to talk about is the WrestleMania Tag Team Showcase match for the women. And once again, that is Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez taking on Natalya and Shotzi, Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler, and Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green. Now, I look at these names, and two of them definitely stand out against the other ones, and that's Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. But you know, I'm kind of curious as well, because I had heard that Ronda Rousey was injured, and I heard she wasn't even going to be a part of WrestleMania. So come to find out that she is a part of WrestleMania, but then I also heard she's still kind of injured. So I really am not sure what to expecting from this, but like, honestly, off the top of my head, they seem like the easy pick for this match. Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler, they win, and then they earn themselves a tag team championship match against Becky and Lita, or maybe Damage Control, whoever has them. Other than that, you know, I don't really know. So I'm just gonna go with Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler, and hopefully I get that one right. Next up, we got ourselves a big boy match here. We got Brock Lesnar taking on Omos. Now, a lot of people were thrown for a loop when this match got announced. A lot of people were like, Vince is back. This is proof. We know now, because Omas hasn't been on TV this entire time, and now all of a sudden he's back. And not only is he back and on WrestleMania, but he's working with Brock Lesnar. That was kind of crazy. And you know, I think that kind of happened as well, like right after Bray Wyatt had called out like the winner between Brock and Bobby, and reportedly Brock didn't want to do business with Bray Wyatt, which I can kind of understand. I can't see him doing the spoopy stuff, but Bobby Lashley apparently agreed to it, but then something happened, and then that match got taken off. So we are left here with Brock Lesnar and Omos. And the reason why I bring up the Bobby Lashley stuff is because I think something interesting could possibly happen here. I talked in the beginning of this video about a Bobby Lashley Open Challenge match, right? So hear me out for this. What if Brock Lesnar and Omos, they have a decent little big boy 3, 4, 5 minute match, whatever it is, you know, they're gonna go to the outside, someone's gonna go through the barricade, Omos is gonna lift up Brock Lesnar, everyone's gonna freak out, and then Brock's gonna F5 Omos 17,000 times and everyone's gonna freak out about it. So Brock gets a quick win over Omos, and then out comes Bobby Lashley. Now Brock and Bobby, if I remember correctly, they are tied, right? So they need another match to settle the score between them. So why not on the grandest stage of them all? That really never made any sense to me either. I always thought that after their last match that they were just gonna have another one at WrestleMania. So why not set it up this way? Kind of, you know, they give you the Lesnar Omos thing, get a little moment out of it. That's cool. And then another surprise just to have Bobby Lashley come out. I hope that happens. So that's going to be my prediction for this. Brock Lesnar is going to beat Omos, and then Bobby Lashley is going to come out, and then Brock and Bobby Lashley are going to have a match. That's that's one crazy prediction, but I hope it happens. Next up, we have Edge taking on the Demon King Finn Balor in a Hell in a Cell match. And this match is cool for two reasons. One is that the Hell in a Cell structure is not red anymore. It's the normal steel gray colored looking one, and I am so happy about that. I have never really liked the red. It makes it a lot harder to see in, I feel like, just because like the contrast for everything, and it just sticks out like a sore thumb. So I'm very excited about that. That's huge. But also, the Demon King Finn Balor is back, and I don't know if you guys remember or not, but unfortunately, the last time we saw the Demon King was when he wrestled Roman Reigns, and he slipped and he fell off the turnbuckle and he lost the match because of it. I don't know if you guys remember that or not, but it was absolutely insane. I still can't believe that they did that. So hopefully this is a nice little redemption for Finn Balor and the Demon King. And you know, I'm hoping I'm gonna make another prediction. I think the Demon King is gonna be purple in color. Usually he's red, but with Judgment Day, they have purple. So I'm hoping that the Demon King is purple. I think that will look great. And you know what? While we're predicting even more things, I think we're going to see Brood Edge for sure. 100%. He's probably going to come out to the Brood entrance. He's going to raise up through the fire like he normally does. And I wouldn't actually be surprised if they had Gangrel with him, because if I remember correctly, the last time that they had Brood Edge, they wanted to have Gangrel with him, but AEW actually had Gangrel on their TV, and they were like, nah, we can't do this anymore, which makes a lot of sense. You know, I wouldn't want to run that back either. So that's what I'm going with this one. And you know, for the winner, it's got to be Finn, right? Like the Demon King, he can't slip and fall off of a turnbuckle and then come back 2 years later or whatever it is, and then lose another match in a Hell in a Cell match. There's no way, right? So this one has got to be Finn Balor. Purple Demon King, Finn Balor wins. Brood Edge with Gangrel by his side. Those are my predictions for this match. Oh, yes. Okay, so we are at my favorite match on the card. I think this one is going to steal the show, and you guys will probably agree. But this is Gunther defending his Intercontinental Championship in a triple threat match against Drew McIntyre and Sheamus. Even, like, just saying the competitors in this match is crazy. Drew and Sheamus always have great matches. Sheamus, like man, I feel like Sheamus is like an unsung hero of WWE. He's been great for so long. Like he really has, and he's been feuding with Drew McIntyre off and on, and their matches have been great. And Gunther, like, he's been great. Like, it's, to say the least, he's just been great. Like his body transformation and everything, I really thought it was going to kind of be the end of the road with him when they changed up his name and did all of that other stuff that we won't talk about. But man, he's really owned it, and he's really given the Intercontinental Championship a fantastic reign. Like I said, I'm really, really looking forward to this match. This is probably going to be the match of the night. If it's not Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes, it's 100% going to be Gunther, Drew McIntyre, and Sheamus. And you know, I'm going to throw a little curveball out here, all right? I'm going to go with Sheamus. I think it's time for Sheamus to become the Intercontinental Champion. If I remember correctly, it's a title that he's actually never held. And the reason why I say Sheamus as well is because I think it's time for Gunther to move on up as well. You know, Cody, he's been kind of wrestling the Imperium guys, if I remember correctly, or maybe it was just one of them. I don't know. But I think if Cody wins, we haven't got there yet, but if Cody wins, Gunther would be a great challenger for him. And I don't think that he should win it in his first, attempt coming for Cody. I also think it's like one of those things that WWE loves to do where it's like American versus foreigner. And it makes it even more perfect that it's babyface American Cody Rhodes versus heel Gunther. Like, it just makes so much sense to me. So I'm going to go with Sheamus dethroning Gunther to become the Intercontinental Champion, and I'm gonna have him pinning Drew McIntyre actually. So you can go ahead and say that Gunther, he still looks strong in defeat because he didn't actually lose. It was Drew McIntyre that lost. Next up, we have Bianca Belair defending her Raw Women's Championship against Asuka. And if you did not watch my night one video, what I had said about Charlotte and Rhea is that I feel like they should have swapped opponents. It makes a lot more sense to me personally. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but you can let me know down in the comments, and then I will know. But personally, I would have had Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair versus Asuka instead. And I'll kind of give you a quick rundown of why. So Asuka, when she came up to the main roster, she was undefeated. We all know that. Charlotte Flair defeated her at WrestleMania. No longer undefeated, right? So now that you have Kana with the face paint, you have like a whole new presentation of Asuka. Why not have her redeem herself at this WrestleMania and beat Charlotte Flair? That makes a lot of sense to me. Maybe they don't plan on having Asuka win. I don't know. And that's the reason why they didn't do it. And then going to the new people, we have Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley. Bianca Belair has been so great for so long. She's been a fantastic Raw Women's Champion. She's just overall, like, she's a perfect package for a women's superstar. So she's been killing it, but so has Rhea Ripley. And I think the story that you tell here is Rhea is like the new main eventer on the block. Bianca's the old one. Rhea's here to claim her championship, and I have her defeat Bianca Belair. That's what I would have done personally. So anyways, now that I'm rambling, let's get back to the match at hand. Bianca Belair versus Asuka. This one, it's tough. It's really tough because I feel like Bianca Belair is a fantastic champion, and I wouldn't mind seeing her continue it. But Asuka, like, I feel like this is a whole new, like, this is a reset for Asuka. And I really want to see that black and gold NXT Asuka come back, that undefeated Asuka. I want her to come back. I want that. So I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to go with Asuka. Asuka defeats Bianca Belair to become the new Raw Women's Champion. Next up, we have the main event match of the night and probably one of the biggest WrestleMania matches we've seen in quite a while. We have the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns defending his undisputed WWE Universal Championship against the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes. This match is huge. It's absolutely crazy. And I really I can see both sides to this one. Roman is so close to hitting 1,000 days as champion. And, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, if you've come this far, you might as well finish it, right? So that's where I kind of look at it at this match. And I'm like, you know, they could have Roman retain. Cody's the babyface. I think he'll be fine. You do the 1,000 days, and then at the next big pay-per-view, you have Cody get him and win the championships, or maybe they split him and he wins one of them. I have no idea. But just giving Roman that 1,000 days, I feel like you might as well. You might as well. And then I also think it makes it a little bit more interesting for Cody because I don't want to say that he's just been set up for success because, you know, obviously he got injured and stuff like that, but just like coming back from injury, the surprise number 30th entry into the Royal Rumble, getting the marquee WrestleMania match, it all just feels too easy to me. And I don't know, you guys can let me know if you feel the same way about it, but it just feels so easy. I feel like Cody losing and kind of going into that whole thing of like doubting himself and not knowing. I feel like Cody works best as an underdog, personally. But we're talking about WWE. And you know what? My prediction, I think WWE is going to pull the trigger, and I'm really thinking they're going to put the titles on Cody Rhodes. All the signs just kind of point to it, kind of, for me, like his new shirts. The man has an emoji after his Twitter hashtags. I mean, it kind of just makes sense. They display him as a top star. He's got a ton of pyro. The guy's probably going to have 10 grand of pyro during his entrance. So, I think maybe they need this. Maybe this is a big change of pace for WWE, and this will kind of set things in a path where they can now change the titles, and they can, he can unify them. He can split them up. He can be like, I don't really care about this Undisputed Championship because I just came here for the WWE Championship. So he relinquishes it, whatever it is. I think that might be the path that they go on. I feel like that one might make the most sense. So my prediction for this match, even though I think that Roman Reigns should win, but my prediction is that WWE is going to pull the trigger and they're going to have Cody Rhodes win the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Man, that is a mouthful there for sure. All right, so now that we've gone over the main event match, I want to kind of go over a scenario here for something that maybe could happen afterwards. So a lot of people, they still want to see Roman Reigns versus The Rock. Of course, like, why wouldn't you? It's arguably bigger than this Roman Cody match, probably, and I still think it's kind of possible, but the only reason why I kind of feel like it's not going to happen is because what happens with Cody? You know what I mean? If Roman beats Cody at WrestleMania and then The Rock comes out and confronts Roman Reigns, when do they do the match? They're not going to run that match at Backlash. I mean, maybe they run the match at like a Saudi pay-per-view. Maybe if one of those are coming up. Maybe SummerSlam or something. Maybe they build it for next year's WrestleMania, but then at that point, what do you do with Cody? Like, I don't think that would be a great idea because all of his momentum would just come to a screeching halt. What is he supposed to do now? If he's not chasing the world championship, I feel like that's a bad look for Cody. I don't want to see Cody lose this marquee match and then go chasing the United States Championship or the Intercontinental Championship or anything like that. I still, even in my scenario where I kind of feel like he should lose, I still have him getting up wins and getting up the courage to get back into the ring with Roman Reigns so that he can dethrone him. I don't think that they could put it off for very long. I don't think that they could go 6 months or whatever it is before SummerSlam. I don't think that they could go a whole year until the next WrestleMania, because they would even have to go further than a year, because that WrestleMania match would be The Rock and Roman Reigns. So I really don't see it happening. I know everyone wants to see it, and I know this is probably the perfect year for that to happen, but I just don't think it's going to happen. If it was, I would have had the match happen this year, because this is the perfect time to do it. Roman's the hottest he's ever been. WrestleMania is in Los Angeles. It's in Hollywood. And you have Cody Rhodes, a huge babyface. Why not have Roman Reigns versus The Rock on night 1? Roman retains. Then you have Roman versus Cody on night 2. Cody wins because Roman's gassed. He's already gone through it. And I kind of had this same scenario for Sami Zayn as well. In that scenario, I had Roman versus Sami on night 1. Roman wins, obviously. And then Cody versus Roman on night 2, where Cody wins. I just feel like that would have been a lot better. All right, guys, that wraps up my predictions for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed them. And like I said at the beginning of the show, I'd love to hear from you as well. Let me know your comments and your predictions about WrestleMania Night 2 down below. I'd love to go over them and chat with you about them. And like I said in my video yesterday, I will once again be doing a WrestleMania Night 2 stream here on YouTube as well. And we'll probably go live about 5 or 10 minutes before the show and chat about things, and then we'll go through the whole show and we'll watch it together and we'll have a blast. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you tonight. Peace.